They did it. The assholes in my country did it. Count Dankula just had his 4th court trial. And they've, convicted him. They found him guilty under the Communications Act for being grossly offensive. Who's taking offence at things? Taking offence at things is a choice. And this guy told a joke on the internet. He's going to prison for humour. This guy is going to prison for humour. He's not a Nazi. He was making fun of Nazis. He taught his dog to do when he said as a joke, just to annoy his girlfriend. And his girlfriend's completely on his side. She knows it's a joke. Everyone knows it's a joke, it seems, except for these people who think taking offence can be used as a weapon. And now Count Dankula Marcus Meechan in Scotland is going to prison in the UK for a joke. And our whole country is gonna go into meltdown now. I mean, there are gonna be people out on the streets fucking raging against the government, and rightly so. This is one of the worst things that's happened in UK history for a long time. And they actually did it. They're going to send him to prison. Ah, for fuck's sake. Why would you do something like this? The far left is in control. Clearly, the far left has sway over everything if they can just make offence into a law and not define what the hell they mean by hate crime so that they can make jokes and humour into hate crimes. They can make whatever they want into a hate crime. If they disagree with you, it's a hate crime. You can now go to jail. This has set a precedent, and you can go to jail for posting something on the internet that you think is funny. This is the precedent that's been set now in the UK. Maybe we should all just leave. Emigrate. Is that the word? Emigrate? When you leave? Go to the US. The US has the Constitution. It still maintains free speech, even though it's deeply under attack right now. But the UK's fallen, like many places in Europe have. And things are just going to start getting worse from now on. Antifa are supported. And at least in a few states in America, they're named as what they are, which is terrorists. Here they're not named as terrorists, and we don't have a constitution that protects free speech. Dankula is a great, kind-hearted, lovely guy, and they put him away for being funny on the internet. The Communications Act, grossly offensive. Bad things are happening, man. I'm not even on the right. I'm a left-leaning centrist, and the thing about everyone in the centre is they're all right with each other because they're not fucking extremists like the far left are, or the far right, you know. A liberal, a proper liberal, can agree with a conservative and hang out with them as friends. These insane, what people have been calling liberals, that people on the right call liberals a lot, which are actually the far left, are the very vocal minority who are now getting in control of everything and fucking everything up for the world, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how I'm going to edit this. He's probably going to become the biggest martyr you've ever seen. There's going to be people out on the streets. I mean, if things are done right, there's going to be people out on the streets, like, protesting the heck out of this, because this is properly wrong, what's happened here. This is very dangerous for you to do this to a member of the public who's innocent like this, and he is innocent. You can call him guilty all you want, this guy is innocent as fuck. And there's going to be mass unrest because of this. I can see it coming. There's going to be mass unrest because of this. You know, for all the flack I'm giving the liberalists for being this activism thing and having this kind of groupism, factionalism that I can no longer call collectivism, like gathering up to do things. At least they care about individual rights, and at least they are like a centre-left. I mean, if they were a political party and they got into the UK, they would be infinitely preferable to like every party, you know, Jeremy Corbyn's insane socialism on the left that we definitely don't want to get in, Theresa May's false conservatism, that it's just like a joke, and so many other alternatives like the Green Party. I can't even imagine how bad it would be under the Green Party. Whereas if we had a party of the liberalists, even though there's a lot of jokes going around about them, and people find them cringy, as some people would call them, you know, it's infinitely preferable to what we've got. Because at least they stand for actual freedom of being able to talk in public, being able to film in public. It's all right in certain circumstances, because people don't want you filming in like their private home unless you get permissions and stuff, or their business or something. But I'm talking about like public spaces, like parks and things, and like touristy places where you expect to see tons of tourists with cameras, and there are, but certain types of people, they will not allow them to film there. But you know, if it's an accepted type of person walking around with a phone cam, they will completely ignore them and let them be free to do it. But yeah, I don't know. There's not freedom for certain types of people right now with certain types of views, and oh god, left-leaning people as well. They're all fucked. There's a huge portion of moderate left-leaning people who are completely fucked by this law, as well as moderate centre-right people who aren't a harm to anyone and their views are not extreme, and they just want a kind of family life and just a happy existence, and you know, they're fucked too, and we can't be humorous. If we can't be humorous about things, then what have we got, you know? Jokes are illegal. Sorry, I'm just shocked and angry and saddened by this news. I mean, it was the fourth trial because they kept putting it off, so we've been building up to this, and I guess there was a tiny slither of hope that there'd be some sanity and he'd be freed, but now he's been put in prison. It's the worst for the rest of us. Like, everyone kind and normal is... if they say the wrong thing, they're in danger of just the far left putting them away, you know, for not being, I don't know, man. Offensive. How can you do this? Like, how can you take offense to the point where you regulate upon it, or like make laws upon it and put people in jail for you taking offense at something they've said? And that can be used against you too, you know? And they don't seem to understand that they can now get themselves jailed. Like, if you make this law, it can be used against you, because someone can take offence at something you said, and if you try and crack a joke, then that can be spun into something offensive by someone on your political side, which is the far left, because they're the ones who do things, the authoritarian, extremist left side of things, who are all about controlling what other people are allowed to say, what they can do, where they can go, who they can be. Alright, so I already did a video on this, but you know when you say something and you put it online, and then the thing you've said that you're quite passionate about becomes sort of invalidated? Yeah, that's sort of what I thought happened to my original video. So I thought Count Dankula was going to jail for the joke thing. And then after I posted that video, we found out that they sentenced him to pay an £800 fine instead of sending him to jail. Being the good boy that Dank is and rejecting a punishment which he shouldn't have been given for humour, and paying that amount and way more to charity, and rejecting the punishment and appealing it, I thought, oh, okay, well, he's not going to jail now, even though this is still a really shitty situation. I'll take my video down because, you know, I said something that actually has been invalidated. And I kind of hate when you make a post and you're saying something and then something in the real world happens that means what you've said isn't true. Well, now it's kind of the reverse situation, because the appeal's been rejected and now he is going to jail. I've just found out. And they even almost charged his lawyer for defending him. Can you believe that? What the fuck? Watch his... so Dank's just released a video about it, which I'm sure will be mirrored if they take it down somewhere. Talking about this, you know, rejection of the appeal and his options and things. And so it's back on, I guess. It's back on. You can now be jailed in the UK for a joke, if not charged £800 fine for a joke. And as I say, Dank is not a racist. He is not a Nazi. He does not advocate for a white ethno-state. He cannot be a Nazi. He is against the alt-right. This is demonstrable in his actions and what he said and what he's done. And the worst thing is that the court can they think they can manufacture your intention, like some future neuroscience revolution that may or may not happen has already happened in their heads, and they can see inside your brain and know your intent without asking you, and manufacture your intent. Like, without the aid of some special brain-to-computer interface machine that allows you to see into people's dreams and things, the court can say to him, we know your intent, we know your thoughts. Isn't that horrifying that that is now in law? And people are just going to go to jail for jokes now, online. The precedent's been set, so this can now happen to the ordinary person. Everyone should be pushing against this. How can you have a hate crime law that is so ill-defined that just normal speaking can be hate? Like shock humour can be hate. Like people choosing to be offended means you will lose all of your freedom. Not just the freedom to speech, although that's what sparks it, is you're not free to speak, but then you immediately lose your freedom to do anything. UK is no longer a free country. I haven't voted much in my life, but now I've got a proper fucking reason to vote. It's unfortunate that the general election's so far away. I think it's 2022 or something. But we need to get all these people out of power and repeal so much in the way of laws in this country. It's pretty fucking awful. And Dank was going to get married as well. Jeez, he's going to be in jail instead. This is devastating news. It's not like the Tommy Robinson thing at all. It's worse than that. And we should be pushing against it. We should be voting it out. And yeah, that's all I have to say for now. This is bad.